He was never in time for his streams. He wasn't in time for his dinner. Then one day he wasn't in his own time at all. And he has forgot to mute himself on Twitch again. I am late. I'm sorry. Thank you for joining me tonight for the final chapter of Back to the Future, the game. Sorry for being late. I was watching Back to the Future Part 2. Good movies. Alright. Let's do a quick auto recap. All started in 1931. Doc had gone back in time to try and solve the mystery of a speakeasy arsonist that had never been solved. Unfortunately, he got caught and blamed as the arsonist. And, what was it? Oh, yeah, killed by the Tannen mob. So, Marty ended up going back in time to save him. That caused all sorts of problems, with Marty nearly writing himself out of time again when he nearly got his grandfather killed. Resulted in a dystopian future where Citizen Brown ruled over Hill Valley with an iron fist. Turned the entire city into a police state, mostly due to his newfound wife Edna Strickland. And so, last episode, Marty and Citizen Brown, after Edna tried to brainwash him, came back to 1931 to try and stop that from happening by breaking Edna and Emmett up when they were still when Emmett was still a teenager. However, Citizen Brown, after speaking with the younger Edna, he realized that he didn't really want to go through with it, and was wondering if there was a way they could still be together without them, having to completely obliterate Citizen Brown's timeline. So, Marty has managed to break Edna and Emmett up, but Citizen Brown is not going to take this lying down. The future has not yet been repaired, and all of it hinges on whether or not Emmett can successfully make his debut as a scientist at the Hill Valley Expo. Starring Telltale Games. Okay. So, here we are in Emmett's laboratory, 1931. There's his bacteria farm. His previous attempts at science. The mind maps that display whether or not someone is a model citizen or a degenerate criminal. Marty, don't sleep with your shoes on. Oh dear.
Hello?
Marty, you're awake. Good.
Doc. Emmett, where are you?
I'm down at the expo. I snuck out early to avoid my pop. If he knew I was about to make a publicly scientific spectacle of myself, he'd hit the roof.
You really should try to work things out with your dad. If you give him a chance, he might just surprise you.
I'll keep that under advisement. But first, I need you to perform an important mission. On the table next to my law books, there's a device plugged into the wall.
I think I see it.
Is it glowing?
Yeah, is that good?
Good. It's fantastic! Glowing means my static accumulator is charged up and ready for action. Bring it down to the high school and we'll... Damn!
What?
It's Edna!
But... Okay, Emmett. One static accumulator coming up. Yeah!
Whoa!
Jeez, Doc. Watch out. You almost ran me over.
Sorry about that, Martin. This vehicle is sometimes difficult to control.
Yeah. Hey, are you okay? After that argument about Emmett last night,
I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
He doesn't look fine.
So, how are the time circuits?
Still broken. I've got a few ideas, but I'm occupied with other problems today. So is that what I'm destined to build for the expo?
Yeah, it's a static accumulator. Emmett spent all night building it. Turned out he didn't really need to see Frankenstein after all. He just needed a little push. And some lightning.
Fascinating. I also had an epiphany last night.
Doc?
I realized that it wasn't Edna that made my life miserable.
Doc!
It was science.
You can't give up science. You love science.
Correction. My younger self loves science. But if Emmett doesn't go through with a demonstration at the expo, his dreams of being a scientist will dim just enough for Edna to step back into his life and steer him down another path.
You can't want Emmett back with Edna. She used you to turn Hill Valley into a police state.
She used my science to turn Hill Valley into a police state. But if I don't become a scientist, she'll never get the chance to vent her crazier ambitions.
Another path? What other path?
I don't know. Architecture, automobile repair, taxidermy. Maybe I'll even pursue a life in law like my father always wanted. As long as Emmett steers clear of science, Edna and I will be free to be happy together.
Doc, I'm begging you. You haven't thought this through.
Haven't I? I guess we'll both find out. One thing's for sure. Emmett Brown's life will be a whole lot less complicated without a time machine in it.
No! Ah!
Oh, jeez.
What the hell? Where'd it go? Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, come on. Here, little static thingy.
Wonder if I need something in inventory for it.
Bedlam at Brown divorce hearing. Wife takes potshot at estranged hubby, famed industrialist Emmett Brown. I don't believe it. He's still fated to marry her. Don't fade out on me, Dad. I'll be home soon. I hope.
Well, neither of those are going to help, are they? Oh, jeez.
I can't reach it. I can't reach it. Gotcha! Whoa!
Ouch.
The future is coming today. There's a shiny new tomorrow on the way. A day of invention is at hand. It's a mystic, futuristic wonderland. Just around the bend, my friend, you'll see a dream or two. If you care to dream and dare to dream, your dreams can all come true. There's a world of wondrous wonder on display, because the future is coming today.
Well, that's interesting.
Not bad, eh?
Trixie got fired
Bad
in the
at
last
all,
episode
but
because
I thought you fired
it was
her.
revealed she wasn't
I found a loophole.
What kind of
an
loophole?
American citizen.
Just a loophole. You're not the only one who's allowed to have secrets, you know.
All right, all right.
Say, don't you have to get that whatchamacallit to Emmett Brown's booth?
Huh? Oh, yeah, right.
Because the future is coming. It's almost here now. The future is coming. It's getting clear now. The future is coming today.
Well, this looks like it'll be a lot of fun to look around, doesn't it? Do I have to sign in?
Hey, Artie.
What do you think? Quite a setup, huh?
The expo? Sure, but I was wondering. You haven't seen Emmett Brown, have you?
Isn't he at his booth? It's the tall one over there.
Come on, you can tell me. How did you manage to get Trixie her job back? I thought her being Canadian was a deal breaker.
If something's really important to you, you find a way. You ought to know that.
Thanks,
See you
Grandpa.
around.
Oh no, this guy again.
How about an algae cake?
Sure thing, mister.
Wait a minute. You're the guy that makes the algae cakes? But I thought you couldn't stand them.
Hey, you're the guy that tried to pick up on my Eunice.
Ah, for the love of...
No algae cakes for you, Buster.
Fine. See if I care.
I think that's supposed to be a clock.
And
Oh,
here
I
he
don't
comes,
like the
right
looks of
on
this.
cue. No doubt he'll try to talk you out of it, Detective, but you mustn't let your resolution waver.
Hello, Corleone.
What's she doing here?
Well, Miss Strickland here seems to think,
You should step aside and let the officer do his duty. Now.
Wait a minute, that's Emmett's levitator up there.
Oh, don't be so modest. I'd say you deserve at least half the credit. It was you who tricked poor Emmett into breaking up with... It was you
You
who
broke up with
manipulated
him.
into dropping my project in favor of this clear hazard to public safety.
The electrokinetic levitator was Emmett's idea. I just helped. What's your point?
Oh, I think you know exactly what my point is. Emmett's invention isn't going to work, is it? At least not the way poor Emmett thinks it is.
how do you know this?
I had a very interesting chat with Carl Sagan last night. I found out who Michael Corleone really is, and where he comes from.
Is there something you want to tell me, Michael?
Why don't you call him by his real name? Yakov Smirnov.
Thanks a lot, Doc.
An
What?
anarchist! A foreign agitator bent on sowing chaos and destruction in the Hill Valley Expo!
Annie, you don't believe any of this bullshit, do you?
Sorry, Yakov, but I really don't have a choice.
Very good. And now, arrest this subversive.
Come here. Look, here's the thing. I happen to believe this dame's got a screw loose, but she's been getting some clout in town ever since that business with Kid Tannen.
But Emmett's gotta fly that electrokinetic levitator at this demo. His whole future depends on it.
And my future depends on making sure he doesn't. The chief reads her column religiously. And, well, if I don't do what she says, she's gonna start a campaign to have certain tainted officers removed from the force.
Isn't there anything I can do?
Not unless you've got some dirt on Edna. Something that'll discredit her in the eyes of the law. Well,
I'll dig something up.
you do that. In the meantime, you and young Mr. Brown better, where is he anyway?
Wait, you haven't seen him?
Emmett? Has this foreign radical done something to my Emmett?
Maybe you should find him.
Oh, you're letting him go? This radical subversive? Just like that?
Okay, so I gotta find Emmett. And do something about Edna.
It's never easy, is it?
I can't believe Danny let himself get bullied into shutting down Emmett's booth. Emmett, where are you? Emmett's gonna fly his electrokinetic levitator, and he's gonna do it today.
Hey, it's Trixie.
Hi, Trixie.
That's Techne to you, kiddo.
Right. Congratulations on getting the old job back.
Thanks. Justice triumphs in the end, you know? Now what can I do you for?
You seen Emmett around? I'm kinda worried that he's not at his booth.
Let me think. Yeah. He wandered down that way a little while ago. He was talking real intense with a guy.
Older guy? Looked a lot like Emmett in the face?
Yeah. Or something?
Or something. Look, Emmett's demonstration has hit a snag or two. Delay his act for a while, let someone else go before him.
Sorry, I don't set the roster, and they won't let me change it. I can drag my feet a little, but if your friend's not ready to go on pretty soon, we might have to skip his act. Demonstration.
But you can't.
Hey, it's just a science demo. It ain't a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
What time is Emmett supposed to go on?
Let's see. 8 kilobeats past 50.
What?
We're on metric time here at the Hill Valley Expo.
Okay.
Edna Strickland is trying to get Emmett's booth shut down.
That dame don't know how to mind her own business, does she?
She really don't.
Is there anything you can do to get Emmett's booth open?
I wish there was, but I'm just a muse. All we can do is inspire people.
Okay, you're a muse. Can you inspire me an idea?
I'll try. Well?
Maybe it doesn't take effect right away. Artie told me how you managed to get your old job back.
He did? But it was supposed to be a secret.
There's no secrets between us. He couldn't resist telling such a good story.
Yeah?
Still, I'd like to hear it again, from your point of view.
He didn't tell you anything.
Aww.
Come on, Trixie. I'm dying to know how you got the job back.
You won't hear it from me. I don't talk out of turn.
Fine.
So, which exhibits do you recommend?
The most popular attractions are the Glass House, the Future Furnishings, and of course, Enlightenment Under the Sea. You know who that is under the diving helmet? That's Jacques Duteau himself. Of course, you need to get tickets if you want to see the main attractions.
How much are tickets?
Aw, put your money away. Here, you're kind of like family now, you know?
Thanks.
That's really nice.
Thanks.
Happy to help.
Alright, let's have a look-see around here.
Are you ready for a picture radio? I wonder if that's anything like MTV. A potted plant? What's this got to do with law enforcement? A potted plant? What's this got to do with law enforcement? It's a bug.
No, a plant, but it's got a wire recorder hidden inside, see? If we could have got one of these into Tannen's speakeasy, and if he's the kind of guy who talks to plants, we could have busted him a lot earlier.
Could be useful.
Hey, don't walk off with the recording plant. It's the only one I got.
Aw.
Oh, hello, Smirnoff.
Hello.
The electro pacifier.
Amazing, isn't it? They say one day we'll be able to stun fleeing criminals by shocking them at a distance.
Does it work?
Nah, it's just a model.
Hey, Danny, could I have a word with you?
Comrade Smirnoff, come to turn yourself in?
I really don't like
In
that.
private?
With pleasure.
You've got to let Emmett demonstrate his invention. His whole future depends on it.
Well, I'd love to, kid, but Miss Strickland thinks it's dangerous. And unless you've got something on her, her word is pretty much law.
Any idea where Emmett is?
Well, he was working over by his booth, but by the time Edna got done haranguing me, he was gone. I hope he comes back soon so we can get this mess cleared up.
What's a newly promoted detective like you doing hanging out in a science expo anyway?
Are you kidding me? This is a great assignment. I get to sit around all day playing with nifty new crime-fighting gadgets, like this.
What does that do?
Hell if I know.
Since when does anyone in Hill Valley listen to what Edna has to say?
Ever since she helped take down Kid Tannen, she's had the mayor and the city council eating out of her hand. I'd be an idiot to ignore her, especially with my, alcohol-heavy background. Boy, I wish I could catch her jaywalking or something. I'd throw the book at her. Yeah, but you never catch a dame like that breaking the law, darn it.
Or would we?
Thanks. I'll be back.
Oh, I hope so. You gotta get this albatross off my neck.
Well, did you put the screws to him? Did he confess?
Alright,
Well,
let's have a word
speak
with
of the
this
devil.
very unpleasant
Danny,
person.
can I talk to Edna for a minute?
Be my guest. I'd like a couple minutes of quiet.
I feel you, buddy.
What's this about?
What'd you do with Emmett, Edna?
What are you talking about? You're the one who's trying to ruin his life.
Believe it or not, I'm the one trying to save it.
From what?
From you, mostly. You really don't know where Emmett is?
I haven't the foggiest. If he's smart, he's run far away from whatever dangerous shenanigans you talked him into perpetrating today.
Shenanigans? Why are you still involved in Emmett's life? I thought you broke up with him.
I did, but then your friend Mr. Sagan told me about your scheme to interfere with our romance. Not a very nice thing to do, cried Smirnoff.
You don't really think Emmett's gonna want you back after you crushed his heart and tried to stop his demonstration at the expo, do you?
Not at first, no. But eventually he'll realize I've got his best interests at heart, and he'll come running back to me like one of those dogs he loves so much.
But you hate dogs.
Yes, ironic, isn't it?
Why'd you go and get Emmett's invention sealed up like that?
I had no choice. Once Mr. Sagan told me about your attempts to radicalize my poor Emmett, I knew I had to stop him from going through with your dangerous invention.
But it's his invention, and it's not dangerous. Okay, maybe it's a little dangerous, but only to him.
That's for the authorities to decide.
Any chance you could talk Parker into letting Emmett go ahead with his demonstration?
None whatsoever. And as long as I'm here, that contraption of yours is grounded.
I know your deep, dark secret.
Secret? What secret?
You're ruthless, manipulative, and power-hungry.
In the service of a higher cause, one sometimes has to stoop to low tactics. But I'm sure you already know that, Comrade Yakov.
I know your deep, dark secret. You know what you were whispering about with Carl Sagan yesterday.
You overheard?
Sure I did. And you did a really lousy job at, burying the body.
Oh, you didn't hear a thing. What I was talking about with Carl Sagan is between me and Carl Sagan.
Have you seen Mr. Sagan around here anywhere?
No, and I wouldn't tell you if I had. He's more than a little scared of your anarchistic tendencies.
I know your deep, dark secret. Pretending like you wanted to put Kid Tannen away when all the time you were working for him.
Oh, how preposterous.
Yeah. It's...
I know your deep, dark secret.
You're not doing very well at this, Marty.
Those charities you were working for, they were all just a front. So you could wriggle your way into those orphanages and...
And steal their piggy banks?
Right. Why Why is Parker so willing to do your bidding?
Well, the good detective knows that he owes his current rise through the ranks to my reporting on his behalf.
Oh.
He also knows that I could just as easily pen an expose about his previous nights of drunken debauchery and evidence tampering.
You're blackmailing him?
Reporters don't blackmail, Mr. Smirnoff. We look out for the public interest.
I thought she'd given up on reporting.
Did you see? Trixie Trotter got her old job back.
Oh, I know! I tried to have it out with Arthur McFly, but he refuses to explain himself. Apparently, he discovered some sort of loophole that allows that Canadian to retain her position. Well, the Ladies' Decency Society shall hear about this. Make no mistake.
Canadians are good, Edna.
Okay, this is pointless. I've got to find Emmett.
Stay away from him, you anarchist hooligan.
No, you.
Enlightenment awaits you under the sea.
Excuse me, Mr.
Duto, Jacques Duto, at your service.
Jacques Duteau, famous diver. So you're some kind of celebrity?
I do not like to brag, but I have a small following, yes.
I guess people are always bugging you for autographs, huh? Asking you to tell them stories about your adventures and stuff?
It gets a bit old, but I can always retreat to the depths. The fish are much less, demanding.
I'm looking for a friend of mine, Emmett Brown. Tall young guy, reddish-brown hair.
A distracted look.
That's him. Any idea where he went?
He just passed by here with an older gentleman. I think they were headed into the House of Glass.
Great, thanks.
Act casual.
The amazing inebriomatic.
Well, from what the boys in the lab tell me, someday we'll be able to tell whether people have been drinking just by breathing into a machine like this. Try it out.
I don't think so.
Why? Have you been drinking, Naughty?
Amazing, isn't it? They say one day we'll be able to stun fleeing criminals by shocking them at a distance.
Does it work?
Nah, it's just a model. Now can you please leave me alone to do my job?
In a minute, I'm not quite through yet.
Alright. House of Glass, was it?
Hey, Emmett, come out of there. Don't listen to him. Perfect.
I guess we're going in.
Welcome to the Atlas House of Glass, the future of domestic life.
Okay, Emmett, let's get you out of here. Emmett! Emmett, don't listen to him. He's crazy.
I'm still not sure about this business proposal, Mr. Sagan.
Let me explain it again.
Atlas Glass, unbreakable and soundproof.
Soundproof glass. Great.
Our living space can be configured to meet the needs of any family. Need a private study? Simply slide the walls in, or slide them out again to create a spacious banquet hall.
Uh-huh.
Emmett, get out of this place and back to your booth. You're gonna miss the demo. Come on, Emmett, look up here.
Ah.
can't get through. Alright, let's try this way.
Something's blocking it. It won't slide open.
It's the yellow one. Alright, hopefully that should do the trick. Nope.
It won't slide open.
There we go. Is it the red one now?
Emmett? Where'd you take him now, Doc?
Greetings again, mortals! This is Techne, Muse of Progress. Hoping you're all having a swell time taking in all the exhibits. Don't forget, you can purchase tickets to our main attractions right here at the information booth.
Oh dear.
A fully equipped home entertainment center. So, where's the ColecoVision?
Ooh. That could be useful.
This plant doesn't belong here. There's nothing futuristic about it.
In the house of the future, fresh fruit baskets will be replenished daily by fleets of fruit-bearing helicopters.
Ah, it's wax.
Hey, they had a ceiling fruit bowl like that in 2015 in Back to the Future 2.
In the future, phone conversations will be completed in the privacy of the personal phone helmet.
Please recite the phone number you wish to dial, or say hang up to terminate Ending your phone helmet experience.
Chief, I demand the cone of silence.
Klondike 4385.
Brown residence.
Hey, Hampton. How's it hanging? This is Marty, Emmett's friend. Is he there?
Not at the moment. I'm afraid he's off on one of his little adventures.
Thanks. Bye.
Farewell.
Conversation terminated.
He sounds nice. Alright, what's a blue button do?
In the mood for fun? The House of the Future comes equipped with a modern home entertainment center.
Chinese checkers and everything.
Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I thought I saw the guy in the diving helmet acting fishy when we came into the house.
Excuse me, sir. I'm looking for a tall, thin, older gentleman. He might have been with a tall, thin, younger gentleman.
I know just who you're talking about. They just left not a minute ago. If you hurry, you might catch them.
Take off your helmet.
I prefer to leave it on. The inland air is difficult on my sinuses.
I know you're in there, Doc.
Doc? Yes, I am a doctor of marine biology, but I fail to understand what you're...
Quit fooling around, Doc. What have you done with Emmett?
Stop! Help! I'm being attacked!
Michael! What are you doing? You can't assault the exhibitors!
You don't understand. He's kidnapped Emmett.
The boy's obviously confused.
I'll say he is.
You want I should toss him out on his ear?
That won't be necessary. Do you know who that is? That's Jacques Duteau of the Oceanic Institute.
No, it's not. It's...
Please, keep it down. The Expo went through a lot of trouble and expense to secure Professor Duteau. We can't afford to antagonize him.
But
if you've got a complaint against him, we can straighten it out after the show. But if you make another scene like that, I'm afraid I'm gonna have you expelled from the hall.
Not that strict.
Professor Duteau, huh?
At your service.
What have you done with the real Professor Duteau?
I'm not sure I like your insinuations.
I'm not sure I like you kidnapping Emmett.
Perhaps I should call the authorities and have you removed from the hall.
You're a cold-blooded guy, Duteau.
C'est la vie.
Where'd you stash Emmett? In the diving bell?
It's called a bathysphere.
Aha! So Emmett is in the bathysphere.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think I'm gonna take a closer look at that bathysphere.
Not without a ticket, I'm afraid, sir.
Hey! Is this guy trying to bum a free ride?
No.
See that you don't.
But I have tickets.
Could be on the right side of the law.
Take a ride in a bathysphere. Your bathysphere. I'd like to see the inside of it.
Can't get in without a ticket, I'm afraid.
You're not gonna get away with this, you know.
As they say in my country, que sera, sera.
Next up on our roster, a man who saw the possibilities in pond scum. Welcome, Ernest Philpott.
Running out of time.
I'm truly honored to be here today.
Here's my ticket. I want to see inside that bathysphere.
I don't think so.
What do you mean? I've got a ticket. You have to honor my ticket.
It's the wrong kind of ticket. Sorry.
Oh, give me a break.
Experimentation. I believe I have unlocked the secrets of this noble vegetable, and I am here to present my discoveries to our disbelieving world. Algae cakes, ladies and gentlemen, is the next wave in the agricultural revolution of the 20th century.
Come on, you can make better music than that.
Vitamins A through J, along with enough protein to choke a horse.
You can do better than that. Come on.
Algae herself, but sweetened with corn syrup and held together in solid lumps through the miracle of gum Arabic. The algae cake presents a package that is chewy to the mouth and bursting with delightful fresh flavor. I invite each and every one of you to come by my booth. That's booth
There you go.
here in the main hall and sample an algae cake on the house. I thank you.
Thank you, Ernest. Do be sure to drop by his booth and sample an algae cake. I have, and it was very interesting. I will be back later to highlight another of our fine exhibitors. See you soon.
Eek.
How about an algae cake?
One algae cake coming right ahead. Wait a minute. It's you. Forget it, mister.
Fine.
Hey, Artie. Is there any way you can delay Emmett's demo? He ran into some last-minute turbulence.
Emmett's already pushed his luck by substituting this electrokinetic what's-this for the mental alignment meter he was supposed to be showing. I can't alter his place on the roster, too. The board would get the idea I was showing favoritism.
You sure you can't just push Emmett's slot back a little?
I could eliminate it altogether. Would that work for you? What?
I was just remembering a time when you refused to take me to the zoo. Nothing. Edna Strickland got Officer Parker to close Emmett's booth down.
What? Why?
She claims his invention is dangerous.
Is it?
That's not the point. Is there anything you could do to get Emmett's booth reopened?
I am afraid not. This may be a wondrous land of tomorrow, but it's still within the jurisdiction of the Hill Valley Police Force. Maybe you should talk to Officer Parker.
He says there's nothing he can do as long as Edna's got clout in Hill Valley.
She does have that.
That's Carl Sagan in the deep-sea diving suit, and he's holding Emmett captive in the bathysphere.
You're making a pretty serious allegation, mister. I'll have to look into it. Right after the show.
This ticket should get me into any exhibit on the floor, right?
Sure, that's a P ticket.
Well, the guy at the aquarium is refusing to honor it.
There must be some mistake. Come on, let's straighten this out. Professor Duteau, this young man claims you refused to take his ticket.
Not at all. I am only too happy to take his ticket. Please, climb the ladder, and I will raise the bathysphere. Mon Dieu, what is the matter? The gears, they must have become stuck. I am afraid I cannot raise the bathysphere at this moment.
What a shame.
Yes, it is. Well, I will work on the problem. Perhaps if you come back later. Come down, please. The bathysphere exhibit is currently closed for repairs.
I'll wait. Can't you see he's messing with us? There's nothing wrong with those gears.
Monsieur Duteau is doing his best to fix the exhibit. Hovering over him like that doesn't help the situation any.
I'm still here.
Yes?
Open up that bathysphere.
I told you, the equipment is jammed. If you come back later...
Bullshit, Doc. I know exactly what you're hiding.
Is there a problem here?
No, everything's just great. The thing I can't figure out is how did you get him in there without anybody seeing?
Who?
You know who.
Young man, I told you, there's nobody in that bathysphere.
That's right, he did say that. I heard him.
Drop the act, Doc. You may be a great scientist, but you're a lousy actor.
Ah, you are the expert on acting? It may be quite some time before the exhibit is fixed.
I'm not going anywhere.
Step back! You're crimping the hose!
What does it matter if there's nobody in the bathysphere?
It's very bad form.
Oh, sorry.
It's an old nautical superstition. A crimped hose means imminent doom.
It does if there's somebody inside the bathysphere, but I thought you said there wasn't anybody in the bathysphere.
There's not.
Hey! You know what happens when the air runs out, to both of you.
I command you uncrimp that hose!
Funny, you'd think it was you who was running out of air, not the guy in the bathysphere.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's as if you two were connected somehow.
Step off the hose!
Ray, I'm not going anywhere.
No, I guess you're not, but I can't wait here all day. I've got an expo to run.
He's running out of air, Doc, and you're running out of time. Let him out.
I won't do it! So the rods, the gears, they have become unstuck.
There, see? It was just a malfunction after all.
Let's get you out of there.
Emmett Brown? Then it was true.
And he's gone.
Hey, you.
Hey, he just took that guy's wallet. I think he took his wallet.
Oh, remind me not to become an oceanographer. I guess I must have a touch of claustrophobia. Never should have gone in there.
Well, we've all got problems. Now, you'd better get back to your booth
Funny
before...
thing is, I don't even remember going in there. Last thing I recall, I was in the glass house talking to Carl Sagan. Did you know he's really a scientist?
I'd heard. What did he say to you?
Oh, he had some sort of spur-of-the-moment business proposition. It was all very rush. I never got the details. It would have meant leaving before the expo was over, so I told him... Say, where'd he go? Do you know?
Carl Sagan? He had to leave. One of his experiments blew up on him.
No, I know how that is.
Speaking of...
What's this?
Oh, yeah. Edna made Detective Parker shut down your booth. He says he can't go against her.
Oh, yeah?
Unless we dig up some dirt that'll discredit her in the eyes of the law. So that's what we'll do.
The next exhibitor on our list is Officer Danny Parker of the Hill Valley Police Force. Officer Parker is going to demonstrate a few of the many marvelous tools that our boys in blue will soon have at their disposal. The criminal element has truly met his match today. Officer Parker? It seems our next exhibitor is unavoidably detained, but I'm sure his presentation would have been both enlightening and exciting. How about a round of applause just for the heck of it?
Alright.
Flowers of the future, just like a regular potted plant, only fake. Nice of Trixie to give me these tickets. They're supposed to get me into all the big attractions. Emmett's static accumulator. It won't do him any good until he can get back up in his booth.
Alright.
Greetings, forward thinkers of Hill Valley.
Oh, hello, Smirnoff.
Do you know what she made him do?
Yeah, come here. Listen, if Carl Sagan shows up again, you're not gonna let him lead you away, are you?
Are you kidding? My sole concern now is to get back up to my electrokinetic levitator.
Good man. Assuming we get Parker to open your booth back up before they call your name, is the levitator ready to go?
I'll accept the power source. You did bring the static accumulator, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got it. You want it now?
No. Wait till we get back to the booth.
Edna made Parker close your booth down.
I know that.
So he'll only open it up again if we could find a way to discredit her. Do you know anything that'll ruin Edna's standing in town?
Yes, I do. She is a rotten kisser!
That wasn't what I had in mind. Edna never confessed anything to you, did she?
Like what?
Something incriminating. Like, for instance, her being the speakeasy arsonist.
Edna, the speakeasy arsonist? Then again, why not?
But she never said anything about it to you?
No.
I gotta run. Did you talk some sense into those two?
Oh, a Sisyphean task if ever there was one.
Hiya, folks.
I'm folks.
Welcome to the phone booth of the future, made with Atlas glass. Atlas, unbreakable and soundproof. Our phone is hands-free, so you can enjoy a sandwich or a cigarette while chatting with friends in perfect privacy. Would you like to place a call?
Yes, I'd like to talk to...
Unfortunately, this phone booth only accepts incoming calls.
Think I've got an idea.
Okay, call me a snoop.
I should have gone in the bathysphere before.
It's some kind of deep-sea diving thingy.
Before. Whatever happened to Jakuto?
Those look like the controls to raise and lower the whatchamacallit. Hey, Artie. See you around.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow, where a man's home is truly his castle. Here, gratification is just always a push of a button away. In the house of the future, phone conversations will be completed in the privacy of the personal phone helmet.
Please recite the phone number you wish to dial, or say hang up to terminate your phone helmet experience.
Klondike 4253.
Hill Valley Expo, where the future is coming today. This is Checkney News of Progress. To whom am I speaking?
It's Kid Tannen. I'm out of jail and I want you back, baby.
I don't know who you are or why you're doing that horrible impersonation of Kid, but that part of my life is over. I've gone legit.
Conversation terminated.
Good for you, Trixie.
I can have some fun with this.
In the house of the future, phone conversations will be completed in the privacy of the personal phone helmet.
Please recite the phone number you wish to dial, or say hang up to terminate your phone helmet experience.
Klondike 4253.
Valley Expo, Techni speaking. Who's this?
This is Carl Sagan.
Ooh, the mysterious Mr. Sagan. What do you want?
Could you get Emmett for me?
Sure thing, Mr. Sagan. Emmett told me to tell you he's started over, and he thanks you for your job offer and all, but, he'd rather stay in Hill Valley and do his own thing.
Conversation terminated.
Good for you, Emmett.
Oops.
A fully equipped home entertainment center. So, where's the ColecoVision?
In the house of the future, phone conversations will be completed in the privacy of the personal phone helmet.
Please recite the phone number you wish to dial, or say hang up to terminate your phone helmet experience.
Klondike 4253.
Jeez, always with the phones. Yeah?
Poor Trixie.
This is Anthony. I'm looking for a friend of mine, Mr. Closeoff.
Clothes off?
Yes, first name Oliver.
Oliver Clothes off? Listen, kid, I didn't just fall off the poutine truck. Who is this really?
Oh,
Hang
look
up.
at that.
Conversation terminated.
I have a spam bot in the chat. Excuse me for a second. Oh. It's not showing up in here. Only on OBS. That's interesting. Ban. And... block. And report. Let that be a lesson to the rest of you spam bots. I do not tolerate your nonsense, even if it is the only message I've had in chat all night. Okay, let's get back to the game.
In the house of the future, phone conversations will be completed in the privacy of the personal phone helmet.
Please recite the phone number you wish to dial, or say hang up to terminate your phone helmet experience.
Klondike 4253.
Jeez, always with the phones. Yeah?
Hi, Trixie. It's me, Michael.
Oh, hi. What can I do for you?
Oh, nothing. I was just checking out this snazzy phone.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Conversation terminated.
In the house of the future, phone conversations will be completed in the privacy of the personal phone helmet.
Please recite the phone number you wish to dial, or say hang up to terminate your phone helmet experience.
Klondike 4253.
Jeez, always with the phones. Yeah?
It's me, Carl.
Oh, hi, Mr. Sagan. What can I do for you?
Can you put Edna Strickland on the phone for me?
Sure thing, Mr. Sagan. Hey, Strickland! Somebody actually wants to talk to you.
Mr. Sagan, what happened? I thought you were distracting Emmett.
I was? Oh, yes, of course I was.
Then why is Emmett standing here, valiantly trying to convince Detective Parker that he should be allowed to go through with this ever so dangerous display of wrong-headed technology?
What can I say? I was outsmarted by that wily Yakov Smirnov.
Well, that puts a crimp in our plan.
Yes, our plan. About that plan. I'm a little unclear on the details of our plan.
Unclear? But it's your plan.
I mean, I'm worried that you're a little unclear on the details.
You were supposed to keep Emmett distracted, but it appears that you've been foiled by Mr. Smirnov.
What can I say? He's too smart for an old fogey like me.
So I see.
Why are you saying all those terrible things about Emmett's friend?
Young comrade Smirnov, you were the one who told me about his vile deeds.
There's been a change of plan.
What?
Yes, I've changed my mind. I think we should let Emmett go through with his demonstration.
But you told me it could be dangerous, and that Yakov Smirnov was a foreign agitator. That the only way I could get Emmett back would be to scoop him up after his dreams were shattered,
Yes. I said a lot of things, but I was a little crazy at the time. The important thing is, now I think you should let Emmett go ahead with his little demonstration.
Oh, I get it.
What?
It's Comrade Smirnov, isn't it? He's gotten to you.
No! I really want Emmett to go ahead with his demo.
Don't worry, Carl. You can count on me.
Well, try to do this nice.
Regarding, you know what?
You know what?
The little matter we were whispering about yesterday.
Oh, that! As a matter of fact, I'm glad you brought it up. I was thinking, wouldn't it be a good idea to pin it all on Yakov Smirnov?
Pin what on him exactly?
You know, it! Oh, I get it. You're still sore about going to jail. That was the dog's fault. If he hadn't come glumping up to me right after I started the fire, I could have gotten clean away, and I never would have had to divert suspicion to you.
She's the speakeasy arsonist.
Carl, is somebody with you?
No, it's just you and me. You know, I don't think I ever asked you why you burned down all those speakeasies.
Why? Because no one else was doing anything about them. Every night they'd open up their doors serving illegal drinks and loose women, flaunting their depravity to the world, and the authorities did nothing. So I did what any right-thinking, rock-willed woman would do. I took action. Oh, and such a gorgeous action it was, too. The fires were so beautiful. The alcohol made them go up in such pretty blue flames. Where was I?
You were explaining why you burned down the speakeasies.
Yes. Did you find my answer to your liking?
It was very revealing. Hang up.
What?
Conversation terminated.
Jeez, Edna was always a loon. I hope that can be good enough for Parker.
Yeah. I mean, if we needed any further proof that she's a complete psychopath, we have it now.
Hiya, folks. It's me, Techni, Muse of Progress, gracing you once again with my presence. And speaking of presents, what better gift could Hill Valley offer the world than this magnificent science and technology exhibit, hey, folks? If you haven't done so already, I urge each and every one of you to take a peek at Furnishings of the Future, right here in our main hall. Tickets are available from me, Techni, at our information desk.
You know, I don't think I ever asked you why you burned down all those speakeasies.
I think a lot of people are going to be interested in that answer.
Me too. Alright. I am going to give Edna one last chance to back down.
Hey, Emmett, mind if I talk to your ex for a minute?
Could you? The detective and I need to have a rational conversation about my invention.
Are you implying that I'm irrational?
Come on, Edna. I know your deep, dark secret. Come on, Edna, confess. You're the speakeasy arsonist.
I refuse to even dignify that accusation with a response. Huh.
Okay.
I haven't got time for this.
That's funny. Soon Emmett and I will have all the time in the world.
Alright. She's not gonna back down.
Oh. Hello, Smirnov.
Hey, Danny.
Do you mind, comrade? I'm busy trying to keep Emmett from letting you lead him into the biggest mistake of his life.
Mistake? My biggest mistake was...
This'll only take a minute.
Our plant recorder. It's not a good idea to steal police property, you know.
Listen.
You know, I don't think I ever asked you why you went down all those speakeasies.
Why? Because no one else was doing anything about them.
Edna? You're the arsonist?
Detective Parker, surely you're not going to believe this crudely manufactured forgery of a recording.
I'm not sure what to believe, ma'am. But based on this crudely manufactured forgery, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to come down to the station to answer a few questions about your whereabouts on the night of the speakeasy fires.
Emmett?
You're on your own, darling.
Oh, very well. Heavens, what's that?
God, does everybody in
You know,
Hill Valley
one of
fall
these
for that?
days I should really stop falling for that.
Not to sound callous, but does this mean I can demonstrate my invention?
Let's take that as a yes.
Greetings and salutations to all our honored guests. I am Techne, Muse of Progress, and it is my pleasant task once again to highlight one of the great minds who was hard at work building a better tomorrow.
I think that's me. I'm next on the roster.
But are you ready?
I don't have a choice. Did you bring the static accumulator?
Oh, right. Here you go.
Great. Come on, let's get up there.
And who knows? One of this kid's gizmos just might take off and change the life of everybody in town. Could it be the very thing he's brought to share with us today?
Well, no, not this.
That ought to do it. Are the block bearings all in the raised position?
Block bearings, block bearings. Raised position, check.
Then it looks like all systems are go. Wish me luck.
I don't have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Emmett Brown!
Objection!
Uh-oh.
Objection, Your Honor! I hereby demand that the scientific demonstration of one Emmett Letter Brown be terminated and forfeit by reason of insanity. I declare him to be in contempt of me, his father. Where is he? Hand him over this
Actually does look a
instant!
lot like Christopher Lloyd, doesn't he?
You can't hide from justice!
Nah.
Oh.
Emmett.
Shh! Don't give me away!
Come on, Emmett. You can't miss your big moment. You don't look very dignified crouching down there, you know.
Better undignified than dead.
I thought you weren't scared of your father anymore.
When he's in a mood like this, I'd have to be suicidal not to be scared.
Just jump in the levitator and go. What's he gonna do?
Shoot me down with an anti-aircraft gun?
Wow. He is really, really terrified of his father.
Let me talk to him.
You don't think you can shelter him?
Come on, Mr. Judge, sir. You're kind of making a scene here.
Wrong. I am stopping my son from making a scene here.
Don't antagonize him.
Well, if you're not going to say anything...
So he is up there with you.
Thanks a lot.
Son, I order you to come down from there this second. Fear! I want to speak to my son.
Emmett's not ready to talk to you directly.
Oh, God. I suppose you're his mouthpiece.
I guess so, yeah. If I can say so, sir, the problem is you're coming on too strong. You intimidate him.
I don't intimidate him enough. That's the problem.
Can't you two have it out later?
You mean after he's gone through with this ridiculous stunt?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No!
You can't talk him out of it. His mind is made up.
So, if talking won't work, there's always thrashing.
Dude.
Stay right there.
I'm not going anywhere. You...
Emmett.
I'm not talking to him. There's no point.
Just go deal with them. What have you got to lose?
That's what they said to Custer.
So, what's your plan?
I just stand here like this indefinitely. After a few centuries, the process of petrification will set in, and that'll be that.
Okay, that is a plan. Maybe he'll give you a fair chance to explain yourself. He is a judge, after all.
Yes, a judge who's already passed sentence. He won't listen to me. He never has.
I'll be right back.
I'm counting to 5. 1, 2, 3. So, is your client prepared to make a statement?
He says it's no use talking to you. You never listen?
That only shows how pig-headed he is. Of course I'll listen. If he can justify his craziness, I'll be only too happy to indulge it.
Stay right there. Emmett.
I'm not talking to him. There's no point.
You heard him. He said he'll listen to you.
Well...
At least give it a shot.
Father?
Son?
You've never understood the first thing about me. All I want to do is step on me, squelch my natural instincts. You don't know what it's like to be young. You don't know what it's like to have dreams, to have ambitions.
Hello, Peaches.
So
How are you?
powerful that they've got a life
You
of
come
their
in
own.
the middle of a
And
bit
it's
of
all you
a
can do to hang on for
family
dear life
split.
while they gallop on where they must. This is America, Pop. And in America, a person doesn't have to do what his father did. Isn't that why you came to America? To live where there wouldn't be so many rules? Well, we talked. Are you happy?
Not especially.
Emmett?
Here to play peacemaker again, Pollyanna?
I don't know. I think you two are on the verge of a breakthrough. Okay, so he's got a strong personality.
Strong personality. Lord save us from strong fathers. Why couldn't I have been born to a nice, wimpy milquetoast?
Yeah, well, that's no picnic either. Important thing is, fathers can change.
Says you.
Yeah, says him.
Deep down, he's just worried about you hurting yourself.
No amount of physical pain could equal the pain he's already inflicted to my spirit.
Please, you gotta get out of Emmett's way.
I have yet to hear a compelling or even coherent reason why.
Look, Your Honor, you don't see it, but there's an awful lot riding on Emmett's demonstration.
All the more reason why I've got to put a stop to it. Look me in the eyes, young man. I expect you know my son pretty well by now. Do you seriously think his exhibition is going to be a success?
Maybe not. I mean, isn't Emmett entitled to make a few mistakes?
Emmett has exceeded his quota for one lifetime. It's my job as his father to see to it there are no more mistakes.
Emmett's just...
stubborn, willful, single-minded, incorrigible, and obsessed.
Okay, but if you look at it from the right angle, those traits are kinda... good.
That may be your angle, Sonny, but I'm not so sure it's the right one. Make no mistake, those are traits that lead to trouble. Gets him his mother.
Emmett's just trying to make a name for himself. Maybe things were different when you were a kid, but nowadays you gotta take chances.
What do you know about taking chances? Try moving to a strange country where you don't speak the language. There's only $2 to your name.
You?
You bet your socks, me. And I made out all right, too.
How'd your dad feel about it at the time?
Papa? He was fit to be tied. He called me a disobedient little...
Ding.
See, Your Honor, it's just that this demo is so important to Emmett.
A childish kerfuffle. He'll forget all about it in 2 weeks' time.
That's what I'm afraid of. So your father didn't approve of you coming to America?
Well, Papa never really understood the younger generation. He came around a bit in the end, but by then it was too late to.
Tell him I'll listen to him. I want to listen to him. If he wants to talk.
There we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
Emmett? Deep down, he's just worried about you hurting yourself.
No amount of physical pain could equal the pain he's already inflicted to my spirit.
He says you get your stubbornness from your mother.
Well, that's the limit. He's not satisfied with insulting me. He's got to drag my mother through the dirt, too. Mother isn't at all like me. She's gentle and sweet and endlessly patient. If anything, I'm more like... Oh, skip it.
You were starting to say that you're like...
Skip it.
Can it be that you and your dad?
No. Next subject.
Emmett, stop being a dope. You've got your pride, okay, I get it. And so does he, but what's the harm in trying to make peace with the guy? He's your family, and family's important. Sometimes it's, well, even more important than we realize.
May I come up?
So, you think my new invention is a disaster waiting to happen?
Yes, I do. And I'm here to say, if any son of mine is going to make himself a public disaster, I insist on being there to support him.
Pop! You're gonna change your tune once you see this baby go airborne. You see, the force field generated by the static accumulator... Marty, give Trixie the signal. We're ready for liftoff.
Oh, good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with us through that unavoidable delay. And now the Hill Valley Expo is pleased as punch to present Mr. Emmett Brown and his electrokinetic levitator.
Here we go. Tiny people. I mean, from way up there, I guess everyone looks tiny. Oh dear. Oh. Well, that sounds like it didn't... Yes, you're right, that does seem unsafe.
Hey, stop!
This
Get back
splash.
here!
Probably straight into the battlefield, isn't it? Oh no.
Doc! Are you okay?
I thought I could change her. Things could be different.
Forget about it. Come on, we gotta find a way to stop her before...
No, don't come any closer.
Doc!
Go away!
But...
Move! Move! Marty!
Ooh. Oh. I mean, I know he's not the real Doc, but...
Oh my god!
He's still
Doc!
kind of Doc.
Say something.
Chromium, lithium, potassium, iridium, titanium, ruthenium.
I'll get help.
Newspaper.
What? You mean...
Oh, nice.
Gonna get you to hospital, Doc. You're gonna be okay.
Yes. Oh, I think I am going to be okay, Marty.
No, come on, Doc. Doc, don't do this. Don't go. Doc, come back.
The time duplicates have no rights. Like the Star Trek where there were two cards, yeah. Oh.
Marty!
Well, that's a good
Have you
look
been
at him,
out
isn't
here
it?
the whole time?
Emmett, is it over already?
Oh, it's over all right. You missed a very wild party. I'm afraid I've been banned from the expo for the next 50 years. And if I were you, I wouldn't go back in either. At least not until all the broken glass is swept up. Oh, what was I thinking? Naturally, the ionic wind generated by an electromagnet of that size is going to play havoc with a merely mechanical steering mechanism. We need a much more advanced control system. I wonder if we could find a way to translate the body's own gravitational field into electrokinetic force. One might be able to direct the ionic currents simply by shifting one's weight. Oh, great Scott, that's it!
And you're not discouraged?
Discouraged? By what? You mean what happened in there? Oh, that was a learning experience. The way I see it, it's those little mistakes along the way that advance us along the pathway of knowledge. Come on, there's no time to lose. Let's get back to the lab and... I'm sorry, is something wrong?
It's a long story. Let's just say I lost somebody.
Oh, how sad. Anyone I know?
The, future mayor of Hill Valley.
Strange, but how?
Don't worry about it. It's got nothing to do with you.
Not anymore, anyway.
What?
You're a complete mystery to me, Marty. Where you come from, what you're doing here. But there's one thing I do know. Whatever it is, it does have something to do with me.
Please, Emmett, don't ask
What's
any...
this? Come on, let me see. I deserve an explanation.
Okay, here goes.
What's that?
An explanation. But you've got to promise me, don't look at it until you get the key to the city.
Huh?
Emmett!
Just promise.
Emmett, where are you, my son?
I'll be right there, Pop. Key to the city? I don't understand.
And you can understand. Not for a long time. It would do irreparable damage to something. Just say you promise.
Okay, I promise. Wait, I will see you again, right?
I guarantee it.
Guarantee it. Yeah, it worked.
There he is! There's our boy! We finally got the old
You
doctor.
were the same Marty. Funny how memory can play tricks on a person. I remembered you being much taller.
How was the ceremony?
Long. You've got a theatrical way of sending messages.
Only way I could do it without messing up your timeline.
Very clever. But what are you doing in 1931?
I came to make sure you stayed on the path of science.
As opposed to what? The dog food business?
Politics.
Politics? That doesn't sound like me.
It wasn't.
Never mind, it's better I don't know. Let's just get back to 1986. That is, unless your presence has caused any other time anomalies.
Me? Nah, no. Well, I'm still a little confused about my
Oh! Guess who it is? Guess who it is?
Where's that no-good son of mine? He's not worthy of the McFly name.
It's Michael J. Fox.
You see my Artie anywhere? Artie McFly? That's the one. Just got a call from Melvin at the city records office. He tells me the dad-blamed fool's gone and got himself hitched to a Canadian floozy. Can you believe it?
Whoops.
Hitched? Married. I swear, that boy's gonna put his papa in an early grave.
That explains the loophole of how a Canadian
So
citizen
that's how she
could,
got her job back.
Get her job.
He's married the wrong grandma. I mean, Trixie's not my grandma. And if she's not my grandma, I'm not me. Wait, that was Great-Grandpa Willie. I met him when he was a baby. He peed on me.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Doc, I'm gonna disappear again.
Calm down, Marty. You seem reasonably solid right now. Whatever the problem is, I'm sure we can undo it with the help of...
Car!
Oh, no.
Oh, great.
How the hell did she get back here?
She?
You? You're not Edna. What's going on here? Is this some plot to put me in the nut house?
No, it's all very simple, Danny.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Poor Danny.
Tell me, did I or did I not just
Yep,
chase
it is
Edna
the baby
Strickland
from
off in this car?
Part 3 that peed on Marty.
Not this exact car, but a car just like it.
A car with a nasty habit of disappearing into thin air?
Well...
Wait, Edna Strickland just disappeared in the DeLorean?
If that's what you call it. It made a loud noise, and then wham! Nothing!
Great Scott! Marty, do you have any notion what date she might have jumped to?
None at all, Doc. See, that DeLorean's time circuits are out of whack. They could jump to any date at all.
Oh, this is bad. This is very bad. Let's just hope she jumped into the future. The far future. If she's jumped into the past...
You think she might mess up the time stream? Wait a minute. This is Edna. Of course she would mess up the time stream.
Guys, you mind telling me what the hell you're...
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy. You've really done it this time, Marty. The entire town has vanished.
Doc? Did we just leave Hill Valley?
No, I believe Hill Valley just left us.
How?
Something must have happened to it. A long time ago.
Well, now you two looking mighty lost. Hey, what on earth is that thing?
It's an experimental vehicle. Pay it no mind.
Look, maybe you can help us. We're looking for Hill Valley.
Well, which is it, a hill or a valley?
Exactly.
Oh, it's a town.
Thank
it's a town
you.
called Hill Valley.
Hill Valley, a town? Say, I think I once heard that there was a town here a long time ago. Don't know much about it, though.
Just as I suspected.
But they don't disappear. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it honestly doesn't make much sense that Marty and Doc are still here. But instead of being incorporated into the new time stream. But hey, they got to keep the story going forward somehow.
What happened in Hill Valley?
Oh, heck, I don't know. That was all before I was born.
Then whatever it was must have happened at least 45 years ago.
Nobody much cares to settle around here nowadays. My dad tried to buy a farm in this area years ago, but he got run off by Scary Mary.
Scary Mary?
Well, that's what we all call her. Lives a couple miles from here. I make a monthly drop at her place. She's a fiend for news. Takes all the papers in the county, never throws one away. Say, if there's anybody who can tell you what happened to Hill Valley, it's her.
Can you direct us to her?
It's imperative that we talk to her.
Sorry, fellas, but I'm pretty sure she won't talk to you.
Why wouldn't she talk to us?
The thing of it is, guys, Mary's older than dirt, but she's also a little tetched, if you catch my drift. She doesn't like strangers.
I'm sure we can handle her.
We'll be very polite. Please, we gotta see her.
Well, okay, if you insist. Take a right turn just after the bridge,
then follow the wheel ruts till they come to an end. You'll have to go the last quarter mile on foot. Good luck, and don't say I didn't warn you. I got a notion I'll be kicking myself for sending you up there.
Thanks, William. River forest, sea desert, tundra savanna.
Can I drive?
Oh yeah, this looks great.
Mary Pickford.
Oh no. You get the feeling she doesn't like company. Sweet Home Hill Valley with a banjo on my knee. Yes.
Mary Pickford. What do you see?
This vehicle has sustained some serious damage.
Way to stay focused, Doc. What do you see?
This vehicle has sustained some serious damage.
Way to stay focused, Doc. Doc, it's a...
Shh.
Look!
Shh.
Probably been a while since he had a tongue break, isn't it?
Step
away from the cabin!
Pardon us for intruding, madam. We were wondering if you could tell us...
I don't talk to hooligans!
On a very friendly sort.
Doc, that was Edna.
Edna Strickland? Impossible.
This is how she was when I first met her. I had to... Listen, just leave it to me.
Okay, you think you know how to handle her. Just remember, we need to know what happened to Hill Valley, and just as importantly, the precise time when it happened.
Hey, Miss Strick...
Who are you?
Michael Corleone.
That's a foolish name, and I make it a rule not to talk to strangers with foolish names.
But we're not strangers.
How do I know you?
I saved your life once, a long time ago, remember? Kid Tannen had you tied up.
Listen, Sonny, I'm an easygoing woman, but I got a few rules I live by. And rule number 1 is, I never, ever talk about the past! Or the future, neither. I don't talk about any day but today.
I guess that didn't go so well.
Of course she doesn't talk about the past, because there's something in her past she's trying to forget. But we're gonna pry it out of her. Go ahead, knock on the door again.
You're the Doc. If you just get a doorbell.
What?
It's me again, your old friend.
How do I know you?
Well, let's go through.
You interviewed me once, back when you were young.
How many times I gotta tell ya I don't talk about any time but today?
You tried to have me arrested once, a long time ago. Remember?
How many times I gotta tell ya I don't talk about any time but today?
Fine.
We spent the day together.
We did? Where?
At the expo.
That's crazy. I've been here all... What day is it?
Tuesday, October 13th, 1931.
October 13th, 1931. October 13th. Something funny about that date. Well, what are you here for?
Come on, Miss Strickland.
Miss who?
Strickland. You're Edna Strickland.
Take a look at the mailbox, Sonny. Name's Pickford. Mary Pickford. And it has been for as long as I care to remember. And like I told you, I don't care to remember!
Listen, lady, you've got to tell us where Hill Valley went.
Hill Valley? You're standing in Hill Valley. Population 1.
But there used to be a regular town here, right?
Might be there was a town once long ago, or might be it was in the future. How many times I gotta tell ya, I don't talk about any time but today!
You see that car over there? You stole that from Carl Sagan, and you time jumped into the past.
Me? Steal a car? You got a lot of nerve, Sonny. Everyone in town knows that Mary Pickford's the most law-abiding citizen that Hill Valley's ever had.
Well, she hasn't changed that much.
Think about the past.
I brought something for you.
What is it? Let me see.
Oh.
I brought you these tickets to the expo.
What expo?
The expo you left when you swiped the DeLorean and jumped back in time.
Stop messing with my brain. I don't know nothing about time travel, and I never did. And what's more, I never talk about the past.
I doubt this would do much, but it could be.
I brought you this picture.
Who's that?
You don't know him, but he looks a lot like this guy you did know.
Not interested.
I brought you this.
I ain't interested in flowers.
But wait till you hear.
And I especially ain't interested in talking flowers.
Aw.
Put them away.
We must have brought something Edna wants.
Don't look at me. I didn't bring anything but myself.
That'll do. Yes, you're right. It's not the past. It is today.
A blacksmith sign. I wonder if it's from Doc's old shop.
Yeah, it's in rough
I
shape.
hate to see it like this. Mary Pickford. Now where would she pick up a fake name like that? I brought you him.
Him? Who him? Him who?
Look hard. Don't tell me you don't recognize your own boyfriend.
My boyfriend?
Yeah, he's all grown up.
Come closer, fella.
Marty, what am I supposed to do?
Trust me, Doc. Just go with it.
It can't be. Emmett!
Yes, Edna. It's me.
It is. It's October 13th, 1931. Oh, and you are Emmett. Emmett. How did I get so turned around? Have I been dreaming or stay there?
It's a classic case of repressed memory syndrome. Once the mental dam is broken, the subject is immediately plunged into the midst of the very scenes she's trying to forget.
Yeah.
Darling, you've come back. course I knew you would. An intelligent boy like you wouldn't be one to throw away true love all because of a silly quarrel. I've already forgotten about last night's little tiff. I trust you've done the same?
Of course I have.
Of course I have. What?
Schnookums.
Schnookums.
Unclean. Unclean.
You're sweet. But you're still keeping company with this Smirnoff character. I insist you drop him. He's a bad influence. And you've got to stop working on that dangerous electrokinetic... What's this?
Okay.
I suppose now you're miffed with me for forcing Detective Parker to close your booth down. Bitter medicine for you, I know, but I had to do it. And Parker had no choice but to obey my orders. He knows that my opinion carries a lot of weight in Hill Valley, and he'd never... Parker would never... Oh...
What is it?
I don't know. Something about Detective Parker. Something that happened to me on October 13th. What could it be?
Can you jog her memory? If we can keep her mind in the past, we may get the full story of Hill Valley's premature destruction.
Okay, let's see.
This hat doesn't frame her face very well.
Hey, free hat.
An old saloon sign. Cool. Too bad it's all burnt.
Should have brought her a knuckle sandwich. Violence never sold
I hate
anything.
to see it like this.
Well, not everything. Okay, not this thing.
I'm guessing this mop doesn't get much use. I wonder what's cooking.
Don't upset her, Marty.
I guess this isn't the right time to be burning things.
Can I take a potty break?
Yeah, I can wait.
Fair enough. Is that cactus
Help me out here,
waving?
Danny.
Don't talk to him. I won't have you spreading stories about me.
No, it's the wrong kind of hat. I would need a police officer's hat.
What's that? Who's there?
Please, Marty, don't interrupt the trance.
Hey, what's that in the window?
Edna's grandfather, Marshall Strickland. That's the same picture I saw in Edna's apartment, way back, in the future. Here's something that'll make you remember.
Remember what? I don't like to remember. Who are you? What are you doing in my yard, you hooligan?
No, Edna, no yarn.
What?
This is Emmett speaking. It's October 13th, 1931.
Yes.
And something's about to happen.
Oh, yes, something big. But what?
Better not talk to her directly. It'll break the spell.
Maybe this is where we use the flowers?
You know, I don't think I ever asked you why you burned down all those speakeasies.
Why? Because no one else was doing anything about them.
No! Parker hears that, he'll... Officer, I can explain. It was a trick. I was framed. Oh, he's after me.
Wow. She's really lost it now.
Ha! He'll never catch me in this souped-up car of the future. Curses! I can't shake him. Well, no use in holding back now. Let's see what this baby can do. And here it comes!
Yes?
Here what comes?
I don't know. Something really unexpected is supposed to happen right about now, but I'm not sure what. Oh, come to think of it, how can I be expecting something unexpected? What's going on?
Quick, Marty. We've got to find a way to push the story along before she snaps out of her reverie.
Okay, this is where I use a tripwire, I think.
I don't think so.
No, not with the flowers.
Here they come! The lights! I'm being transported!
Where?
Back! Back! To the past!
What do you see?
Hill Valley! But it's all different. It's so small and primitive.
I suppose the side of Straight Jacket would go well with that.
Can it be?
That
It
knuckle
is!
sandwich.
Is what?
Grandfather! Big as life!
Marshal James Strickland came to Hill Valley in 1869, shot by...
I know, Doc. We met him in 1885. Remember?
No! I must be mistaken. Grandfather didn't look like that. That man is an imposter! I'm not even sure it is a man! This is all very confusing. Where am I? Why am I thinking about the past? Get off my lawn, you kids!
Better find a way to bring back Marshal Strickland quick. We've got to bring this story to a climax.
Fun little trivia fact for you. There is a deleted scene from Back to the Future 3 where Marshal Strickland tried to stop Mad Dog Tannen from going into town on the day of his big showdown with Marty, and he actually got shot to death. They decided not to put it in the final cut of the movie, though. It made it into the novelization, and I believe that's what Doc was just referencing.
Maybe this'll take you back.
Back where? I don't want to go back.
Oh,
Stay in the moment, Edna. Please, Marty. Don't interrupt the trance.
Right. So, let's have a look at this cactus here, shall we?
Looks like a Strickland to me.
Like my little brother, perhaps, but not like my grandfather. Grandfather was much more
Hi, Winter
shaggy.
Soldier. How you doing? And yes, it is on the DVD. Oops, that's not the right button. Alright, let's see.
It looks a bit like grandfather now, but he would never have walked around bareheaded.
That's fair. There we go.
Not bad.
Oh, grandfather, how well you look. How well everything looks.
How does everything look? Tell me.
It's a bit rustic, to be sure, but all the buildings are so sturdy and well kept. And the young people of Hill Valley, they're so virtuous and upright. So unlike degenerate specimens from the 20th century. And I know the reason why.
Why?
They haven't yet fallen prey to the vices of booze and debauchery. They are still in a state of innocence. I think I could learn to like living here. But who's this?
Who?
This big lout swaggering up the street, lips curled in an insolent sneer. He's a newcomer to Hill Valley. Beauregard. Beauregard...
Tannen.
Yes!
Good guess.
Look at
Well, who else was it
acting
going
like
to be,
a big
honestly?
shot, throwing his money around. Stolen money, no doubt. Why can't they see through him? The two-bit phony! And now his plan becomes clear. He's bought a plot of land in town. He's going to put up
what?
I don't know. It's something I don't like. Something evil.
This is the key to our mystery. We've got to get her memory back in the groove.
So, I'm assuming Beauregard Tannen would be Mad Dog's father? Is that about right? Let's see.
Maybe not.
Where can I put this?
Not sure what that...
The door, maybe?
Not sure what that...
Oh. The outhouse. That'll do it.
Talk about a watering hole.
Saloon? In Hill Valley? Oh, he can't do that! Grandpa, you can't let him do it! You can't let that snake ruin paradise! Well, if they're too blind to stop him, I'll just have to take the law into my own hands. I'll make sure this sinful establishment never opens its doors. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll do something. Something very conclusive.
I got a good guess.
No, you're doing it all wrong. It'll never burn like that. First, we'll need some kerosene. Apply it liberally to the building site. No sense in being parsimonious. And now, watch.
And she just burned down her house.
Beautiful! The devil's handiwork consumed by the fires of righteousness! Burn, you sucker! Burn!
She was never this passionate when we were dating.
Oh.
What is it, Edna? Is it the fire?
Turn away! Don't look!
It's not staying in the saloon, is it? It's spreading to the other buildings in Hill Valley.
My intentions were pure. It wasn't supposed to happen like this.
But it did happen like this, and you've been repressing it all these years because you can't stand to admit that you're
a hooligan. I'm a hooligan.
Did I lay it on too thick?
Here's the story. Black and white and red all over.
Huh. Hill Valley destroyed by fire started approximately 2 a.m., July 17th, 1876.
Of course, I'm not the real criminal in this story, am I, Mr. Sagan?
Oh, God.
You set me up for a fall. You and Smirnoff. You made me steal your infernal car. You made me burn down Hill Valley. And now, by the powers invested in me by the town of Hill Valley, I hereby sentence you two criminals to... You! How much have you heard?
Enough for a month's worth of headlines in a Hayesville Herald. 2 months worth if you shoot those fellas.
I could shoot you too, you know.
But you won't, because that would be against the law. And you never break the law, right? This is your cue to skedaddle.
Right.
Much obliged.
Thanks, William. Don't get shot. We don't want Marty fading out again.
There's Beauregard Tannen's half-finished saloon. Sometime during the next hour, Edna's going to light it on fire and accidentally burn down Hill Valley.
I wonder where her DeLorean is.
We'll find it later. Right now, we've got to stop that fire. I'll go around back. You go through the front.
Got it. It looks like Doc's old sign, but I guess it couldn't be.
Yeah, it couldn't be, because Doc didn't come to Hill Valley until 1885. And that would be about 9 years after the fire.
Oh, and such a gorgeous action it was, too. The fires were so beautiful. The alcohol made them go up in such pretty blue flames.
Nice of Trixie to give me these tickets. They're supposed to get me into all the big attractions. Don't fade out on me, Dad. I'll be home soon. I hope. I think I liked it better on the outhouse.
Oh, hi. Bless you.
I'd better not get too close. I'd better not get too close.
The way in.
Not sure what that...
Hit him! Hit him over the head with the blacksmith sign, you fool! Fine. Well, at least steal his gun.
Who's there?
Edna, stop. It's just me.
Mr. Sagan, what are you doing here?
I was gonna ask you the same question, Miss Pickford.
Isn't it obvious? I'm putting an end to your den of iniquity before it starts.
I don't think so, Mary. I don't like shooting women, but no one comes between Beauregard B. Tannen and his livelihood.
Tannen, stop! If you shoot her, she'll drop the torch, and this whole place will burn up. Edna, stop! If you drop that torch, he'll shoot us.
Looks like we're at something of a standoff here, Mr. Tannen.
I don't see a way out, unless somebody manages to disarm both of you at the same time.
How the hell am I supposed to do that?
Yeah, Doc. How the hell am I supposed to do that?
Dolores Miskin? Maybe I could jump him. If I had a gun, I could probably outdraw Tannen, but I don't. Chandelier's right over their heads. That's gotta be useful somehow.
Was that a mouse?
What's the matter, Miss Pickford? Scared of a little mouse?
No, but you should be scared. Mice carry diseases. It's a fact. Look it up.
What kind of odds would you give me that I can disarm you and douse the young lady's torch simultaneously?
About the same odds that you can walk out of here without getting a shot to the gut, stranger.
In there, Doc. That must be where Edna got the kerosene. Cripes, it's no wonder the town went up. I can smell the kerosene from here. Pickle juice. That ought to be handy for putting out torches. It's too heavy to lift.
Doc, what are you doing? Get back. Alright, let's try back here.
Man, this thing is not light.
Maybe we can come to a more peaceable solution, Mr. Tannen.
Crap. It's right over his head, but I can't knock him out while Edna's still holding that torch. Not quite.
Why are you so hellfire determined to meddle in my affairs, woman? You've been a-burring my behind for over a month now.
You're the source of the hellfire around here, Tannen. I'm just fanning the flames a little.
Lady, I'm just giving the hard-working folk of Hill Valley a place to play some cards, look at some dancing girls, and knock back a few drinks.
Exactly.
Heavy.
Do you think everything's heavy, Marty?
Man, this thing is not light. Pickle juice. That ought to be handy for putting out torches. It's too heavy to lift.
Say, that's a lovely chandelier you've got there, Tannen. Is it French?
French? Nah, I got it off a wagon that had the misfortune.
Oh. Would have liked to hear that. Oh well.
I wonder what's in these. Oh, stop. Quiet. Gah.
What the hell?
There we go.
Oh, cow crap. There goes all my pickled pig's feet.
That ought to have at least lightened the load enough for me to be able to lift it now.
Going down.
Looks like your torch is getting a little dim there, Miss Pickford.
It's still hot enough to bring down this little bit of Gomorrah, Tannen.
All right, physics.
Are you here to haul me back to 1931 for my supposed crimes? Or is there some sort of time court for that kind of thing?
Time court? What in the name of Ulysses S. Grant is she talking about?
Alright. Let's see if that does it first. No, not quite. There we go. Now we're in business.
What was that noise?
What noise? I didn't hear noise.
Why are you dressed like that?
I wasn't planning on visiting the 19th.
Okay, that was lucky.
Won't be long now.
We'll just see.
Come on.
Got any last words?
I'll see you in hell, Tannen.
You first, lady.
Come on, you son of a...
Ha!
Little frog!
Who the hell are you?
I'm the diversion, butthead.
Nice.
Nice one, Doc.
Don't tell Clara. She thinks fisticuffs set a bad example for the boys. Now, where's Edna?
Doc, she's gone.
No, no, not again.
Edna's DeLorean.
We've got to stop her before she hits 88 miles per hour. Come on!
Okay, Edna. No, Nothing to be worried about. You're a smart woman with a strong moral compass. You just need to think your way out of it. Oh, fudge!
Whee!
What's she doing?
I think she's spouting euphemisms at us. Luckily, the road out of Hill Valley is still pretty rough in 1875. It's unlikely you should manage to accelerate 88 miles an hour anytime soon.
How are we gonna stop her?
Good question. We can't risk injuring her or damaging the vehicle for fear of altering the timeline even further. Luckily, those diagnostic lights my alternate self put all over her DeLorean have given me an idea. Here, take these.
What are these?
Flux synchronization modules.
How do they work?
I generally use them for maintenance purposes, but we might be able to use them to sync up with the alternate DeLorean's diagnostic modules, thus making it possible to link both sets of time circuits and override the time destination of the alternate DeLorean. At least that's the theory, anyway.
That's a great plan, I think.
Best of all, we won't need to weld the modules to the frame. We'll just snap them over the diagnostic lights.
Wait a minute, Doc. You want me to go out there? How the heck am I supposed to do that?
Good question. Let me think. Aha!
The hoverboard.
It saved our hides a few times before, so it seemed like the appropriate tool to bring along for the job.
Sweet!
I forgot that Doc had it at the end of the third movie.
You okay?
It's just like riding a bike.
You ready to make the jump?
Ready, Doc.
1, 2, 3, jump!
Whoa!
Nice form, Marty. How's the reception on the wireless?
Great. Where'd you get these?
From Bird's cache of 21st century video game consoles. Now remember, all you've got to do is attach the flux sync modules to those diagnostic lights.
Will do, Doc.
Well, this feels very much like the first game.
Mr. Fusion, should I disable it?
Leave it alone. It's not a good idea to monkey with nuclear reactors.
Yeah, that's probably...
Is that one of the flux emitters?
Yes. Now plug in the flux sync.
No, that's the wrong button again.
It's always a good idea to keep a few flux override modules in the trunk for situations like this.
Absolutely.
I can't reach it from here.
Just have to climb onto the top.
Not sure what that...
It's locked. Is this the starboard flux emitter?
Yes. Now plug in the flux sync.
All right.
Nicely done. Now, aim the sync toward the receiving dish.
I'll try, but it's getting a little bumpy out here.
I already put a flux override here.
Hold still, Doc. Go!
Great. That's one flux sync down. 2 to go.
Always got to be the rule of 3, doesn't it? I don't suppose Edna would just pull over.
It's locked.
Oh! Get off! Oh! Get off!
I can't sneak past the rearview mirror.
sure what that... Maybe if I knock Mr. Fusion off?
No chance of Marty. The nuclear event is not what we need right now.
Not sure what that...
Alright, can I go around from the front? From the other side of the car?
I can't sneak past the rearview mirror.
Oh.
Get off!
I can't sneak past the rearview mirror.
Oh jeez. Well, that didn't work. At least it broke a mirror then.
Don't cross through those flames. They may be radioactive.
I don't even like crossing through normal flames.
Nice work, Marty.
Oh wait, rear bumper.
Made it.
Excellent. Now let's get that flux override module on before she starts making life difficult.
Like she's been making it easy up till now? Is that the port flux emitter?
Yes. Now plug in the flux sink.
Well, here goes nothing, Doc. Whoa!
Perfect. Now, aim the flux sink towards the receiving dish on my DeLorean.
Receiving dish. Check.
Come on, Doc, hold it steady.
We're almost home, Marty. Just one flux sink left.
Get off my car, you hooligan!
It's locked.
Come on, Edna, I just want to talk.
Mr. Fusion. I better not touch now that it's synced. Edna!
What?
Let me in!
You want in? Fine!
Ah!
Thank you.
Marty, are you all right?
Not really.
What?
Pull over!
No!
Please?
You're in a lot of danger!
So are you!
Whoa!
Excellent, Marty. Now that you're on top of the DeLorean, you can attach the flux sink to the overhead flux emitter.
That's great, Doc.
Oh, better grab that.
It's stuck.
Don't worry about the hoverboard. Let's get that last module synced up.
Ha!
Nicely done. Now, aim the sink toward the receiving dish.
Yeah, we're upside down.
That's it! Get out of there, Marty!
Phew. Now what?
Now we take control of Edna's DeLorean with the flux synchronizers, and that's strange.
What?
According to these readings, the temporal cohesion of Edna's DeLorean is decaying at an alarming rate.
English, Doc.
We've got to get Edna home, now! Hold on!
88 miles per hour!
Holy shit!
I wonder if the DeLorean has airbags. Well, she can look on the bright side. At least she didn't drive into a manure truck.
Parker? Then I must be back in... Would you be kind enough to tell me what day it is?
It's the day I place you under arrest for arson, resisting arrest, and being a general all-round pain in the ass.
Whoa! You can't arrest me. Not now. I just got back from the last century.
Would you look at that? Edna Strickland, drunk as a skunk.
I'm not drunk, you reprobate. I'm a time traveler.
Sure you are.
Oh, I'm loving this.
I'll prove it to you. Come with me. We can do the whole day over if you want. We can fix everything.
We can start by drying you out. Come on, into the station with you.
You can bunk with me, doll.
I'd rather die. Stop it! Unhand me, you dolt!
Well, I guess that's it for Edna.
Yes, I suppose it is. You know, whoever said time heals all wounds didn't know squat about time travel.
Finally seeing her under
You
arrest.
don't need to do a thing. Ever since we
Very
synced up the time circuits, the temporal breakdown in Edna's DeLorean has accelerated at an exponential rate. By my calculations, the timeline should catch up with it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now!
What the hell? Hey, Parker, you're not gonna believe this.
See? What did I say? Ready to go home?
Wait, Doc, the timeline's not fixed yet. Look. Michael, you missed all the fireworks at the expo. Yeah, so I heard. Listen, I heard a rumor about you two.
I guess we gotta come clean. Ta-da! Hardy took me to Reno last night.
Try to keep a secret in Hill Valley.
Well, you gonna congratulate us or what?
And it's true. My grandpa's married the wrong grandma. I'm done for.
Hey, are you feeling all right, kid? You don't look so hot.
Artie, you can't do this. You're not supposed to get married for another 5 years.
Well, I know Trixie and I were taking things slow.
But after that witch Edna got me fired with that postcard, we kinda accelerated things a little.
The postcard? Oh, man. This just isn't right.
Now, I know marrying a Canadian for a work permit isn't strictly by the book, but hey, sometimes you gotta go out on a limb for the ones you love.
Isn't he just the sweetest?
Yeah.
Can you see through me?
Nope, never could figure you out. I thought you'd be thrilled for us.
You don't understand. You're supposed to marry Sylvia Miskin.
But I did marry Sylvia Miskin.
What?
You didn't think my real name was Trixie Trotter, did ya?
Don't feel too bad. It was kind of a surprise to me, too.
Wait a minute. You're Grandma Sylvie?
Grandma? Hey, how old do you think I am, kiddo.
But you're so skinny and blonde and... Oh my god, I've seen you naked.
Well, she was wearing antlers.
Sylvia?
You okay, pal?
Yeah, I'm fine. Great. You kids go off and have yourself a wonderful honeymoon. And don't worry about your dad, Artie. I'm sure he'll come around.
Come around to what?
To approving your marriage. You seem kind of mad about it back at the high school.
Well, that was before I got a look at her. Besides, as my dear old father Seamus used to say, no sense in getting riled up over something I can't do nothing about. And honestly, now that I met her, I can't imagine a better daughter-in-law than the charming Miss Sylvie here.
Aw, thank you, Dad.
Aw.
As for you, stranger, I'll thank you to not go poking your nose in McFly family business.
It's been a pleasure, Agent Corleone.
See ya in the funny papers, Mikey.
Goodbye, Grandma.
You know, I took some pictures of Trixie in 1931.
Hey, that's my grandma you're talking about.
You'd think it would call his cover into question, seeing as how he told him to meet someone without knowing what she looked like, but we gotta wrap things up. Yeah.
Here we are, back in
There's a lot of
1986.
potholes. It's best to just
May
ignore.
14th?
15th. Best to build in a little lag time. Gives you a chance to catch up.
I guess we got everything wrapped up in a
the
nice
estate
little
sale
bow,
is still going on. Hey, don't you want to stay, Doc? You gotta stop the bank from selling off all your old stuff.
What are you talking about? Estate sale? Bank? I'm not dead, Marty. Clara and I are having a little garage sale, that's all.
Garage sale? You mean...
Marty, you're back from your trip. Hello, Doc. Selling off the family treasures, eh?
Not quite, but I hope you find something you like.
Speaking of which, did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah, I sure did.
Great. Hey, is that a box of Asimov?
Let me get this straight. Are you telling me you live here now? In 1986?
Well, naturally. Claire and I maintain a part-time residence here. Wasn't that the case when you left?
No.
Strange. I can't imagine not sticking around. After all, I've got my late father's foundation to supervise. If I wasn't here, who'd present the annual Earhart Brown Scholarship for Young Scientists? Something funny?
I'll explain it to you later.
I don't see what's so funny about looking after a family legacy. Oh, almost forgot. I've got something for you. Happy graduation.
Graduation? But that's not for other... The McFlys of Hill Valley.
An exhaustively detailed history of your family, from your great-great-grandfather Seamus to the present.
You traveled through time to write this?
Well, most of the research was done traditionally, but your grandma Sylvia proved to be something of a mystery.
Which is why you traveled back to 1931, to look for her.
Exactly. Who knew she was singing in a speakeasy under a stage name?
This is great, Doc. Thanks.
It's the least I can do for the man who saved me from making the worst mistake of my life.
Yoo-hoo! Dr. Brown!
Ah!
Edna? Einie!
What's going on? What are you doing with my dog?
The same thing I do every afternoon, silly man. Giving him such much-needed exercise. Isn't that right, Einstein?
Well.
Hey, Dollface, it's past time for our 3:30.
Coming, sweetie. Oh, Mr. McFly, have you seen my stepson anywhere?
Oh, Biff. I think you're late for an appointment.
Oh, well, gosh. You're right, Mr. McFly. Hi, Marty.
Don't they make a great little family? You'd never know they met in prison.
Well, technically they met prior to that.
Don't say anything. Let's just walk quietly into the lab and hope there are no more surprises.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
You gotta come with me. Back to the future.
Marty, you can't be here. If your younger self sees you, the consequences could be catastrophic.
My younger self? Oh, right. Bring him along, too. This concerns all of us. What do you mean? Does something happen to us?
Again.
Do we turn into assholes or something?
Nah, we're fine. But our great-great-grandkids? What the hell?
Great Scott.
Oh, this one's blue. Looks like a TARDIS.
Doc, you gotta come back with me. Don't listen to him, Doc. It's me you gotta help. If you want to save Jennifer and our 12 kids. What? That timeline was overwritten 5 jumps back.
Doc, how can there be 2 more of me here?
I have no idea. By all rights, a space-time continuum should be tearing apart like a cheap dish rag right now.
It already is. What my evil twin and I are trying to say is the future is totally jacked up, and you gotta come with me to save it. No, me.
Oh, God.
So, we meet at last. You've altered my timeline once too often. What's going on, Doc?
Well, we do seem to have a conundrum on our hands. Or 3.
Yeah, Doc, but which one is the real me?
Isn't it obvious, Marty? Come on.
Prepare to be erased. Doc, wait! What about the space-time continuum? Yeah, what about my future? And mine?
The future can wait. We've got a present to catch up with.
Where to, Doc?
Mr. McFly, thrill me.
I mean, everything did seem to be wrapped up in a nice little bow. That ending kind of comes out of nowhere. Fun song. Fun ending. Weird ending, but fun ending. It has been a real pleasure playing this again the last few weeks. It's a great fun game. Great movie series. I've been watching them again this week as well. Now, I'm going to be on holiday again in 2 weeks from now. So, while I will still be doing another stream next weekend, there's not much sense getting into a new game. One that's going to take, multiple weeks to get through. So, I'm thinking of doing something that we can probably just blow through in the one evening. Maybe what I'll do is keep it on theme. I remember there were some Back to the Future video games from the 90s. From what I hear, they aren't necessarily very good, but hey, could be fun to look at them. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do next week. Even the ending of the first movie was meant to just be a gag originally, but when it was popular enough for a sequel, they went with it. That is true. Yeah, I watched that just a couple of days ago. And I was watching some of the features from the Blu-ray set earlier in the week as well. And the movie's success took everyone by surprise. It was like the #1 film in America for something like 8 weeks? Maybe 11 or 12? Something like that? So naturally they were going to try and build off that. And look at everything that's come since. I mean, they had the next 2 movies, they had a cartoon series. I have that actually. I'm planning on watching this after I finish the movie trilogy. It's not the best, you know. There's a lot more focus on Doc's kids, probably because, you know, it's an animated series. They were trying to, you know, get the kid demographic actually watching the show. But it doesn't feel right that Marty is reduced to, you know, just cameo appearances. So that's probably why I don't like it too much. But, you know, it's fun. You got Dan Castellaneta playing the animated Doc, aka Homer Simpson. I believe it was just the first season they had appearances by Christopher Lloyd as Doc, you know, in real life, and a young Bill Nye the Science Guy as well. So it's interesting and worth a look, you know. And they also had a series of IDW comics as well. One that even showed the initial meeting between Doc and Marty. It's a fun little story telling how they first met. It's worth looking at if you haven't seen it before. Alright, so I think that's going to wrap things up for me for tonight. Like I said, next week, I'm going to pull out some Back to the Future games from, like, I think it's Sega Mega Drive and Nintendo SNES. So if you haven't looked down below, you can find links to my Twitter, which lets you know when I'm going live, and also a link to my YouTube page where I archive all my old streams. If you missed any of this playthrough series, you can catch the previous episodes there, as well as all the other stuff I've been streaming. There's a big Batman Arkham series I did from last year, and lots of other retro games and stuff as well. So thank you for watching. Thanks for those of you who were in the chat, keeping me company. It's been a fun time. And yeah, hopefully I'll catch you again next week. Take care of yourselves until then. Have a great day.